One thing I imagine that's pretty hard to understand for young people about social media is those big business accounts that you see, most of them didn't exist before social media. And I know this because I run one of those accounts. I've seen it firsthand. Young people treat it like some big corporate entity when the reality is that a couple kids had an idea, social media allowed for them to post about it online, and it turned into a multi-million dollar company. These are called social first businesses. They use social media as a vessel to market their products, or they use access to their audience as the product and show them ads for money. People make millions of dollars because of this, and it's only possible because of social media. But that is changing, kind of. This is gonna be kind of a weird video because I'm going to be arguing two opposing points at the same time, and they're both 100% true. Point one is that social media stripped the power away from creators, and the second point is that social media made it possible for anyone to have power. And I know that that sounds contradictory, but by the end of this, I'm going to have explained what I mean and also why this has impacted everyone's relationship with social media. But first, let's talk about how social media stripped away power from its creators, because that is a much more recent thing. And the big thing to know about this is that follower count no longer matters. And that's because of the changes that they made to the algorithm. Basically, every social media platform has adopted this new style of algorithm that optimizes for getting you to spend as much time on the platform as possible. I think this is pretty common knowledge. I feel like most people know this. That's why they call social media addicting. But the impact that this has had on creators is basically now, even if you have 0 followers, you could post a video and that first video can get 10 million views, which is crazy. That is not how things worked before. Before you had to slowly build up an audience, and then your views kind of depended on your follower count, because when you posted it, your followers would see it. Now, if you make something, it kind of gets thrown out there into the ether, and if you get lucky, you could have a viral video. But on the other end of that, that still applies to accounts with massive followings. Yes, your followers do see the content first, but it's not going to keep showing your content to your followers if they think it's not good. So they don't take any account into whether your followers might want to actually see the video. They just make that determination for you and say, hey, this video didn't do too well with these guys, so this guy over here probably won't like it either. Let's cut the video off. And then your video is dead. No matter how many followers you have, no matter how many people are online at that time ready to see your content, the algorithm just isn't gonna show it to them. And there are a lot of people out there that believe that this is purposeful. They think that social media companies do not want these accounts to have that kind of power because they are making millions of dollars and they just think it's a control thing. Now, I'm not completely sure how I feel about that. To me, it seems like all these social media platforms adopted this new algorithm model because they're trying to survive. You know, TikTok came along and they had this algorithm and they were very successful with it. And to not get left behind, they also adapted it. And when they adapted it, they abandoned the old model, which was if you have a massive following, you post something, your massive following sees that post. They said, no, 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 no. The best thing to do is to show people the most engaging content. And if that's not engaging, we're not going to show it to people. And this has definitely been felt in the creator community because you could have amassed a massive following through dedication, seizing opportunities, and dedicating copious amounts of time to your socials just to no longer be able to reach your own audience. And that kind of sucks, you know? This is not to make you feel bad about accounts with millions of followers. Trust me, that money is still coming in. But I kind of just say this to illustrate the point that something has changed. But anyway, that's the reason I say that they've kind of stripped the power away from these creators, but there's always a silver lining, which brings us to our next point. Social media made it possible for anyone to have power. For the longest time, the blueprint for starting a business was the same thing. You basically just get a bunch of cheap labor and you work them to death to maximize your spending margins, and then you make as much money for your shareholders as possible. That was it. That's how you did things. But now things are a bit different, or they can work a bit differently. Social media allows you to skip all of that. With just a few tools, now you can literally do whatever you want, post it online, and if you're savvy enough, you can make a great living from it. This is where it's never been better to be a small creator. Social media is free and it's where all the attention is. So if you scream loud enough, lots of those people will hear you. Like I said, it's because of this new algorithm that you can have 0 followers and get 10 million views on your first video. And this algorithm isn't some mythical thing. It's pretty well studied. I mean, I don't think people know exactly how it works, but it's pretty predictable. This is something you can go test right now, just so you know I'm not making it up. You can go watch 2 videos on the same topic. Don't like the video, don't subscribe to the creator of the video, just watch them and then refresh your homepage. Chances are there's going to be similar videos on your homepage because you watched those videos. They don't care how much you actually liked it because they don't know. And that is how all these social media platforms work these days, even YouTube. But what that means is if you are the creator, what you would want to do is make content on a very specific thing, because the algorithm will recognize that and keep showing your content to the people that are looking for that exact thing. And I can kind of use myself as an example here because I do not do that on this channel. I kind of have a theme for the page, but nobody really knows what my next video is going to be about. That's not good for the algorithm. Now, I know you guys love my videos about Gen Z, and those are the ones that get the most views. So if I were to keep spamming those videos, just only posting videos about Gen Z, I guarantee you, this channel would have like 20,000 subscribers in just a couple months. I mean, I'm not gonna do that because I just enjoy making videos on the things I enjoy making videos about, but I do believe in my soul that that's how things work, especially with these new algorithms. Because if YouTube knows exactly who to show your content to, they will, because it's in their best interest. If they can have someone stay on their platform just a little bit longer just because they recommended the right video to them, that is what they're gonna do. So I guess my takeaway here is that if your goal is to become a content creator, that is the way. You wanna make, if you wanna make videos about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, make sure every video you make is about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. The algorithm will deliver. But with all these said changes, I don't think it comes without a cost. Everything has a cost, right? And I think the cost here is over optimization. Every video you see now becomes a sales funnel because, like I was saying in the beginning, a lot of people use social media as a revenue source. Every social media account is a business. Everyone has a personal brand. Everyone has a theme page. They're trying to make money. And because everyone possesses the ability to create, everyone is creating. And the number one rule of content creation is to do what works. That's why you see the same exact videos all the time reproduced by a different creator, because the second creator saw the first creator's results and thought to himself, that's amazing, I want it. So they took it. And this is just normal now. I would go as far as to say that this is what you have to do in most cases to be successful in social media. You have to copy what works. And everyone's kind of playing by a similar playbook. You get the attention and you use that attention to make money. But people don't like being in a sales funnel. They feel it, you know? It's kind of an intuitive thing where things just feel a little less authentic than if you were just making content for the love of the game. So in that sense, the consumer suffers. So yeah, I think it's very unfortunate that things have gotten to this point, but I guess the upside is if there is something that you want to do, a passion you want to pursue, a business you want to build, social media is still the perfect platform for that because it takes nothing. You just need a camera and an idea and to follow a format, and you can get millions of views on your video, which can lead to monetary gain. It's just, you know, that doesn't always make for the best content. And I think that's where we're at right now. And I apologize because I didn't actually write a script for this video. I usually do, so it's not as structured as my other ones. So I don't really know how to end this video. So I guess just let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you for watching. Shokin!